Hello, my name is William, and I am part of Team Panic Button, and I'm going to be showcasing our game, Project Redline. Our game starts in a tutorial section, then transitions to a city, and then transitions to a citadel, and then finally it transitions to the stage that I created, which is a swamp and a loading bay. I'll be using screen clipping and recording clipping to show the beginning of the stages, and then I will be transitioning to the end of the stages and clipping everything together until I get to the swamp, which I will then showcase the three tasks that I was mainly focusing on this week for class. I will open the build that is actually uploaded on Proforce. The level that will load will be the tutorial section. I will begin in the tutorial section, and then later on I will show the transition that will take the player to the next area. And then I will briefly play that area, and then I will play until I get to the transition for the city, and then I will briefly show the Citadel level until that transitions to the swamp level. Level, and it will transition once you get past the save point. You can save here by pushing the E button, and it will take you to the city valley. This is the city valley. You see now you have new mission objectives that you need to complete on this stage. I will show that the game is working and running now from this level. I will briefly show this, and then I will transition to another level. Okay, cool. With you. Okay, I should be coming up to the transition to the next level that will take you from the city to the citadel. This is the citadel level. Again, the character works, everything is functioning correctly. The objectives have been updated, and I will show the transition point for this level. So this is the last item that you need to collect on this stage. And once you get through this stage, you get to the top of the stairs and you will enter the swamp, which is the level that I created. So on this level, I will transition over to the Juris site to show items that I was assigned and items that I took care of. And then I will show those actions and those actual items in the actual build and show the transition to the final stage. As you can see in the distance, there are environmental enemies that I created, but let me switch over to the Jura site. No. So items that I was assigned for this sprint was 506, which is swamp level adjustments. On this task, there were multiple subtasks, and the majority of my time was spent completing these items on this task. For task 506, there are multiple items underneath there, which is to incorporate areas that use the wall jump mechanic, update any bugs from the previous week, include environmental enemies, update the hitbox, create a health station, and create environmental hazards for the player. Part of those updates tie over to 509, which is a bug list of stuff that needed to be corrected For example, the final gate did not spawn in the correct location. That was corrected. The acid damage was too low, and I had to change the damage on all of the acid points. The repair stations were had overlap, and the enemies could touch them and use repair stations, which was corrected. The floors was thin, so I had to add another landscape underneath the floor to prevent predators from clipping through once they crouch. The enemies had a weird immunity to weapons, the environmental enemies, and that was corrected with me and another teammate. Additionally, I worked on including environmental enemies on the level. Overall, I spent 4 hours on 505. I spent 4 hours on task 62652, and I spent the bulk of my hours on task 509, which was 24 hours, which gave me a total of 28 hours of work this week. Now I'm going to transition back to the game and show these actual items in game. As you can see, there are environmental enemies here, which can be hurt and damaged with different weapons, and they have different elements that they affect the player with. They will be triggered soon. There are ice enemies, fire enemies, and the green ones are healing enemies. You can choose to bypass them and continue with the main objective, which is opening the gate here. With some tricky jumping, you can avoid a lot of the enemies here. The sound trigger starts when you enter this hallway here. There's another save station, which is why it's always to use the save stations in the game. That prevents players from going back to the beginning of the area. And this area here forces players to use the triple jump, or you can battle through the walkways, or you can take a shortcut here. So these walls were specifically designed to incorporate a triple jump or a wall run mechanic. If you jump here, you can jump from here to perform a triple jump, which you usually cannot perform. You can go this way to get to the top of this building, or you could easily continue towards the security building, which is your main objective. From here, you can transition over again using good jumping and maneuvering between enemies. You can use this wall here as a point to use triple jump or wall run. From here, you can dash here, go over this wall here to get to the gate switch. With the gate switch activated, you can quickly maneuver around these guys here. They will chase you, but this area leads into where you need to go fight a boss. At any point, if you're confused where you need to go, you can always push the tab button and it will give you an update of where you're supposed to go during the gameplay. Once you enter here, you'll hit a sound trigger which activates the boss music, which overlaps the swamp theme, but we're still learning how to code. There's a blocker here that prevents you from going back on the stage. As usual, you should use the save points. So there's the boss right there. Saving renews your energy and it gives you a respawn point. So you can kill the boss. He's very tanky, but he can die if you shoot him enough. He's very strong also, so takes a lot of damage. But he can be killed. This is the last section here, which is the loading bay. The objectives is just updated by that thing. There is a different sound trigger here. As you go through this area, your objectives have changed to now collecting the spear. It lets you know that the environment is unstable and this is part of the environmental hazards that I created. I will obviously save. These are environmental hazards, which are the wires. I accidentally clipped one. Inside here is the fire hazards. You touch the fire, you get burnt. And across this way, there is ice hazards and moving platforms. The goal is to actually get that spear there and the red spear that's over there, and that will unlock these doors here, which means I need to actually do that so I can show the transition point to the last section. Jenny, if you want, you can talk now. The instructor. Okay, so I've collected the spears, and the objective is going to change now. You're going into the final area here now. The music will change, and it will tell you that your objective now is to destroy the metal door. Saving is always smart to do. You enter this room, and it's full of a lot of enemies. Additionally, there is another mechanic that is incorporated in this section, which is a railgun. The ammo for the railgun is here. You come here, push E, the railgun ammunition drops out. You can use the railgun by coming here and pushing E. The railgun will shoot. But the next thing to showcase on this level will be the transition to the last section. So I'm going to destroy this mechanical wall. And this is actually the transition point that transitions you to the last stage. And this is the last stage. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, my name is William McLean, and I showcased the transition points from the first tutorial stage to the City Valley, to the Citadel, to the Swamp, which introduced mechanics that I incorporated and worked on throughout the week, which was wall jumps, environmental enemies, and environmental hazards.